Any life-altering aha moments that made weight loss click for you?
I also love this question. I think what I love about this question is that there are far too many people out there running around trying to figure out what to eat to lose
Mm.
weight. And what would be way more helpful is to look at people who have lost weight and kept it off, who are getting the result that you are looking for, and asking them how they changed their thinking. So I love this. And for me, my life altering aha moment that made weight loss click for me is that, oh man, there's so many.
I
You go
thought this.
first.
Oh, thanks. Just punt it over to me. I agree. I was thinking about this before we went live, and I could speak for hours about
Mhm.
how my mindset has changed that has made weight loss much more manageable of a goal. I really think that the most influential decision, and this is maybe like not applicable to everyone, as we've been talking about many times on the podcast and here, but the truth was that I was selling myself short. I was
Mhm.
letting myself off the hook way too easily. I was blaming it on my lack of results, on circumstances, on other people, on
Mhm.
the options that were available or not available, what I could and couldn't do, the time that I had available in the day, and the truth is that was all just BS.
Right.
That was not true. I just wasn't accountable to myself. Every
Mm.
time I would commit to something and it would get a little bit uncomfortable or a little bit difficult, I'd,
You were punching out.
yeah, like, oh
Yeah.
no, thanks. I'm not gonna do this anymore. You don't feel like
Mhm.
it? Oh, that's okay. Just,
Mhm.
don't do it. You don't want to? That's okay. You don't have to. Like, this isn't fun. That's okay. You don't have to do things that are not fun and hard. And that's fine. That's fine. If that's working for you, go for it. But the truth was, I didn't feel good. I was in a body that was larger than I was comfortable with. I wasn't able to move and live and do the things that I wanted to in life. And truly, it didn't feel good to continuously make these commitments and then not follow through on them.
Mhm.
I wanted that accountability in that sense that I could take care of myself, that I was good for myself. And in order to fix that, I had to do that. If
Yeah, I like that.
if I wanted to trust myself, I needed to behave in a way that was trustworthy. If I wanted that self-respect, I needed to behave in a way that I could respect myself. Like,
Yeah.
and that no one else could do that. There wasn't a program, there wasn't a food, there wasn't a workout routine. I really had to step up to the plate for myself to do that.
Yeah, I love that. Follow through on the commitments you make to yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You gave me some time to think. So I think my biggest aha moment. So my story is that um, I have been, 25 pounds heavier than I am now, and I've been 25 pounds leaner than I am now. So unlike Annie, my weight loss story isn't like I'm not living my leanest livable weight. I'm actually somewhere in the middle of my heaviest and lightest weight. However, when I was at my heaviest weight, I'm going to talk about two moments. The first one was that I really needed to understand and acknowledge that the core reason that I was overweight was because of all the restrictive dieting I had done. My relationship with myself, with food, even with exercise was just, it was so messed up. I couldn't really, I couldn't even think about changing my habits or losing weight without, wanting to start binging, without wanting to run to the freezer and grab the ice cream. I truly only saw food and exercise as ways to be losing weight or manage my weight. I didn't see them as anything else except that in my life. But an extension of that is I truly didn't see myself as anything more than a body, which is super sad. I had majorly objectified myself, which is really what we're taught to do in this diet culture we're living in. And I just saw myself as a collection of body parts and a number on the scale. So I had to start unpacking that. And I had to start seeing myself as a whole person where my body was the least interesting thing about me.
Hmm.
And one, and acknowledging that the reason I was struggling with my weight, the reason I did find myself at 25 pounds heavier than I am now is because my relationship with food was so messed up, that I was just stuck in this reactive overeating cycle from my years and years and years of restricting. Like essentially a survival mechanism had just kicked in and couldn't shut off. It
Hmm.
was just overeating constantly. And so once I did that work, my next aha moment was that when you love yourself, when you care for yourself, weight loss can come from a place of self care. When I stopped seeing food and exercise as tools to just lose weight, ironically, I was able to lose weight in a
Hmm.
healthy and sustainable way because I'm no longer eating and moving just to lose weight. I'm eating and moving to feel healthy, to take care of myself now and in the future, to be the role model I want to be for my kids. And that is completely a completely different just way of approaching it,
Yeah.
right? It's no longer a panicked black and white binary all or nothing journey. It is just living every day the way you actually want to.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think that a lot of that resonates with me as well because as it relates to taking care of yourself, I often thought that that meant just saying yes to yourself all the time.
Right.
Whatever you want, have it. Do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, and so
Don't force or have to like grit your way through anything. Just give in to the pleasure and whatever you want in the moment, right?
yeah, so and it's important to understand that Annie and I come from two completely different places. We're from two ends of a spectrum. I was extremely perfectionist, rigid. I guess self-care to me would have been like just 3 more pounds, gonna lose 3 more pounds, right? It was this total preoccupation and fixation on thinness.
Hmm.
And it's not that Annie wasn't preoccupied with losing weight. She was, but over here, her self-care was no boundaries with food.
Yeah. I was too loose, too
A little
soft.
too loose.
Yeah.
A little too loose. Yeah.
Yeah, a little too indulgent, right? You needed
Right.
to indulge a little bit more. I needed to indulge a little bit less.
Yes, and it was just we were just on two ends of a spectrum, and both of us have come to middle and the results are different too, right? So that is another aha moment if we want to keep them going here. Another aha moment for me was that I didn't have to have a goal weight.
Hmm.
And that actually in my whole history of pursuing weight loss in a small body, goal weights had hurt me, not helped me. So I became open to creating habits and a life I wanted to live, what felt healthy for me, and finding out what that weight was. And turns out for me, it's like somewhere in the middle of my heaviest and my leanest weight. Turns out for Annie, her leanest adult weight. And I think a lot of women could really benefit from not trying to control the outcome so much.
Yeah. As much as I thought that my lofty goals, posting pictures around my kitchen and pantry of these fitness models, as much as I thought
Yeah.
that was motivating me, it was actually just leaving me really miserable and discouraging
Yeah.
because I felt
Totally.
the gap between me and them was so large
Mm-hmm.
that I couldn't get there.
Yeah.
There was too much of a disconnect. And so like you letting go of what the end result was and
Mm-hmm.
focusing in on the process and my behaviors, I actually did come a hell of a lot closer to that than I ever dreamed of. I never dreamed that I'd be 40 and have the biceps that I do or the strength that I have. Like
Yeah.
never. So in a lot of ways, like not only can they be really goals be really suffocating, they can also become like a cage or a ceiling to what you're capable of. Because had I stayed committed to having a goal, I probably would have sold myself short on
Yeah.
what I could do.
And I know this is different than what a lot of people have heard because, we're taught to create very specific goals. We're taught to create SMART goals, right? And one of them is very specific. And I guess I'm going to go in the other direction. I'm going to say, look, like it's not helpful. We can't control what our weight is as much as we've been led to believe. Now, if you want to create very specific goals around your behaviors, which you're actually doing in a day, that's another thing. But very specific weight loss goals, I don't know if I've ever seen them help a woman. I never want to say never. I don't want to be all or nothing. I don't think they're helpful, and that's my general opinion.
Yeah, I agree.